And so the first time I tried it, I couldn't believe it. It felt like I was on halo testing, perhaps that I was on trend. I could feel it working. I had extra energy. I felt stronger. It was better than Turk Builder Max. And I know you're thinking that's hard to believe. How could it be better than Turk Builder Max? It just was. It's now time. Time to up our game, to step it up a notch. You've all enjoyed Turk Builder Max. If you haven't, of course, can continue to buy it. It's, of course, code Greg 15% off. And if you don't like it, whatever, for any reason, it doesn't build as much muscle as you had hoped, expected, money back guaranteed $20 gift card. But if you want the next step in the phase of evolution, it's time for you to try Turk Platinum. What exactly is Turk Platinum and how is it different from Turk Builder Max? And so it has more ingredients than last time. Now, the first time I tried, remember, I've experimented all of this, so I already know that it works. It's not just myself, it's other people as well. It's not just a sample size of one. And so the first time I tried it, I couldn't believe it. It felt like I was on halo testing, perhaps that I was on trend. Now, did I put on 15 extra pounds of muscle? No. But when I went to the gym, I could feel it working. I had extra energy. I felt stronger. It was better than Turk Builder Max. And I know you're thinking that's hard to believe. How could it be better than Turk Builder Max? It just was. Now, does that mean every single person in the world is going to notice it? Maybe not. Those of you, you get your money back. I don't care. It's not a big deal. But I cannot wait for you to try it. In Turk Builder Max, the main ingredient is Ajuga turkistanica. It's amazing. Remember, other people are copying this plant, Gorilla Mine and so on. They don't actually put Ajuga turkistanica. Most are using cyanosis, a copycat plant from China. We procure the best ingredients in the world, the top quality, top shelf. We've got Ajuga turkistanica from Uzbekistan. We still have Ajuga turkistanica from Uzbekistan in the Turk Platinum. Now, what we've done is we've added other ingredients. One in particular, it's called Rhaponticum, and it's from Russia. Remember, we've scoured the globe. These are very difficult to get, and we take the utmost care in ensuring that it's of the highest quality. Now, some people, for example, in China, they have the product sitting out on the pavement. It's soaking in the sun. It's losing its potency. We want the purest of ingredients at the highest possible potency. And so Marwani went to Uzbekistan and he filmed everything. He watched everything they were doing, start to finish, the entire operation. We can promise you that no company could do any better than this, the best in the world. And the Rhaponticum from Russia, it's very, very expensive. It's more expensive than Ajuga turkistanica. Another thing you need to know is Rhaponticum is in the Red Book in Russia. I'm not talking about a car's blue book value and so on. The Red Book lists plants that are endangered species. Plants that you are not allowed to just go and pick on your own. Unless you want to go to jail, it's illegal. Unless you have special permission from the government to make and harvest these ingredients. And so that is where we got this. It's so rare and so valued, it's literally illegal to harvest and sell it on your own. This plant is so rare and so expensive that what do you think happens? When something is extremely expensive, extremely rare, other people, they try to copy it and pretend they have it and they sell it at a discount. We paid top dollar for this product. And so Turk Platinum is more expensive than Turk Builder Max. I wonder why. It costs a fortune to get it. And so the other companies, oh, we have Rhaponticum, we have this, we have Ajuga. No, you don't. 99.9% chance that you don't. I mean, perhaps it's better than 1 in a million, but it's very rare. This first came about, this Rhaponticum, during the space race to go to the moon. They spent millions of dollars on these herbs to find out and test and see which ones gives you more energy, which ones make you perhaps a super soldier, which ones are going to be a benefit. Rhodiola as well as sarpuka are two of these products, these plants, herbs, and so on that they had studied. And what was the evidence? This shit works. It's simply effective. Now, in North America, it's lesser known, but in Russia, this is highly sought after. In particular, Rhaponticum, much more expensive than even sarpuka, which is actually given as heart medication in Russia. And so this drug, it's called Cardisten. You thought I was going to say Cardi B. No, it's Cardisten. It's given as heart medication in Russia. And so we have Ajuga turkistanica, we've got sarpuka, and we've got Rhaponticum. These are just 3 of the ingredients in Turk Platinum. And the final ingredient, let's see if I can say this, Rhodiola heterodonta. And this is one of the rarest species of rhodiola on the planet. And so imagine it's all in one box of Turk Platinum. And so, guys, the rarest of the rare scoured the globe all in Turk Platinum. Various ecdysteroids, they were studied by the friggin' Russians from years ago in order to go to the moon. And so if you want your gains to go to the moon, you got to try Turk Platinum. Code Greg, 15% off. What do the studies actually say? A comparative study of the anabolic action of Ecdisten, Leviton, and Prime Plus. These are just the drug names for Rhaponticum that's actually sold in Russia. Rhaponticum. Preparations of plant origin, translation from Russia. Remember, this is in Russian, translated into English. And so the population are runners. There were 20 subjects, and they did this for 3 weeks, 21 days. What were the effects? Reduction of subcutaneous fat, increase in muscle mass for all experimental groups, and placebo lost muscle mass. Remember, the p-value is 0.005, and the placebo group, the group that didn't take it, they lost muscle mass. But the group that took the ingredient, the Rhaponticum, they reduced body fat and increased muscle mass. And so which group would you want to be in? I think it's obvious. They increased physical capacity in all groups compared to the placebo. So the people that took the Rhaponticum, they increased their physical capabilities. So they got more muscle, less fat, and got more active, more fit. They could run faster. Clearly, the group that took the Rhaponticum, they got better results. Influence of preparations of plant origin on physical work capacity. And so we have highly trained speed skaters between 18 and 28. They took the Rhaponticum, and here were the effects. Statistically significant increase in VO2 max, decreased recovery time, decreased body fat, and increased muscle mass compared to placebo. 117 participants, and so I'm certain some of you were looking at the last study, but it's only 20 people. Isn't there a chance that it was a fluke? Yup, there is. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to trick you. And so you have to look at multiple studies. Any one study, no matter how good it is, does it really prove it beyond anything? It's hit or miss. I mean, some people are going to benefit more than others, but this is 117. That's a lot of people. And the effects, statistically significant changes. Think of it. They increased their VO2 max and they decreased their recovery time, lowered their body fat, and they had more muscle. And so just to summarize it all, the people who took the Rhaponticum, they recovered faster, they had more muscle, less body fat, and they had better performance. If I told you that that ingredient was in Turk Platinum and not in Turk Builder Max, would you maybe think I want Turk Platinum? Maybe it's a little bit better. I mean, they've added in these other ingredients. Somebody wrote me the other day on Instagram and said, you know what, you should add in some ecdysteroids into your Ajuga turkistanica. I'm like, Ajuga turkistanica does have ecdysteroids. And so we've added in even more. There are more. They're working effectively. One of the negatives, I have to say, remember, I'm 100% transparent, is when I took the max amount of pills, I had it negatively affect my sleep. I could only sleep like 5-6 hours a night instead of 7 or 8. And so I didn't like that. It was a bit scary for me. It's kind of like when I was taking halotestin. Yeah, I had that aggressiveness and that drive, but I also had impaired sleep. And so I was a little concerned. Now, not so concerned, I can't sell it. There's no blood work saying it's bad and so on. But I wanted something better. And so in Turk Platinum, the Ajuga turkistanica, it's dosed at 100 milligrams per capsule. And you're thinking, well, what does that mean? Well, in Uzbekistan, each of the pills they sell is 50. In Turk Builder Max, we max out the Ajuga, 200 milligrams per pill. And so That's a lot. Many people, they can't even handle it. Some people try it. They're like, hey, I take 3 pills a day. It doesn't affect my sleep. Well, that's great for you. But if it does affect your sleep, and you're looking for these other ingredients, for example, Rhaponticum, with all these studies saying how effective it is, you're looking for Turk Platinum. And so when I take Turk Platinum, I can take them and it doesn't negatively affect my sleep. I get all of the benefits and more. Increased recovery, increased VO2 max, lower body fat, increased muscle mass. Is that not what you want? And so imagine if you're like me, racing bikes, lifting weights, you want more muscle and less fat. Everyone wants more muscle and less fat. Well, not everyone, but most. How many of you want extra recovery? How is that a bad thing? You recover faster. Whether it's from cardio or from lifting weights, you can go to the gym faster and train harder than last time and get greater gains. And so if you continue to use this supplement, imagine the difference it can make compounded over time. And so this one is Rhaponticum yet again. And so there were 20 participants in 10 days. They took the Rhaponticum 3 times in a day. Here were the effects. Reduction of fat by 7% in males and 14% in females. Fat went down. Muscle. Male subject gained 6% of their body weight in muscle. Female subjects 7% of their body weight in muscle. And there were no significant changes in hormones in all the test subjects. And so they lost fat, built muscle, and it didn't negatively affect their hormones. Another positive study. Now remember, if it was only that one study, you'd say, yeah, there's only 20 participants. But remember, these are multiple studies. And so when you do a meta-analysis and look at all of them, that's when you can draw some conclusions. And so next, aspects of sports medicine. Again, it's Rhaponticum. This time, 64 subjects, 21 days, athletes. Effect, lower heart rate in the HIIT training group, increased muscle mass 5% compared to the control group, 4.2 millimeter reduction in subcutaneous fat by skin caliper measurements compared to the control group. No negative effect or organ damage were found in this group. 64 participants. 21 days. These are amazing results. Enough about Rhaponticum. There are more studies in this. I don't have time to go over them all. And next, let's talk about sarpuka. Sarpuka. This is for sarpuka. Don't let the title fool you. It says, correction of adaptive reactions of the cardiovascular system using the ecdysteroid containing adesten during intensive physical work in the north. Is sarpuka. They give it to people that are doing some intense shit in the north. In the test, they took 20 people and they put them on a bike. A bicycle ergometric test was used at varying watts, aka intensity. Remember, this is a little bit of hard science, but I'm going to read this. In the conducted studies, it was shown that taking the adaptogen adesten containing FES, that's sarpuka, leads to a decrease in the growth heart rate, decrease in chronotropic reserve, urea change in heart rate in response to exercise, and contraction pulse recovery time, which allows to say that the functioning of the CCC in the studied individuals has become more optimal. All you need to know is, in conclusion, they had better work capacity. They got better. Thus, the ecdysteroid containing agent adesten, which is sarpuka, activates adaptive reserves, optimizes and regulates the naturally determined protective mechanisms of the human body, performing intensive physical labor in the adverse conditions of the north without causing a negative after effect. And so it made them better. That's all you need to know. The study concluded it made these people better. They were doing physical work tests, power tests on bicycles and so on, and it improved them. Now, one thing you need to understand is it's very important how these people actually harvest these products. Now, in China, oftentimes they cut a lot of corners. They use more solvents. They overheat the product, they over dry it, they cause these chemical reactions to take place, and it changes the composition. It makes it less bioavailable, less able for your body to use it. What we've procured from Russia, from Uzbekistan, it's of the highest possible purity. They go above and beyond to ensure that you're getting the best ingredients possible. And so you can't just say, oh, this Rhaponticum and this one costs more and this one costs less, and so this is a better deal. What if they didn't process it effectively? The ingredients, when you actually get them, they're only at 50%. And so you're thinking, oh, it's cheaper, it's $10 cheaper, I saved a lot of money. but it's crap. It's not nearly as good. And remember, don't just take my word for it. They've actually done studies on this, especially in China. They've analyzed these products, these ecdysteroids. The oxidative origin of many process-related artifacts was confirmed in the 2 commercial ecdysteroid extracts. Considering the pharmacological versatility of ecdysteroids and the major pharmaceutical differences between these compounds and their auto-oxidized derivatives, our results are of importance regarding the efficiency and safety of commercially available ecdysteroid-containing food supplements. And so essentially, they're not all doing their due diligence and taking care of your ingredients. It's important that you manufacture them properly. If you just have this product sitting out in the sun, it's losing its potency. If you purchase omega-3s, they perhaps are rancid and oxidized, and rather than improving your health, it could actually make it worse. Another example, if just because somebody sells you a haircut for $10 and the other person charges $100, it doesn't mean the $10 haircut's a better deal. If they do the haircut completely wrong, they're chopping everywhere, you've got patches missing and so on, versus the other one, they spend 2 hours cutting your hair properly, dyeing it effectively. Well, you got your money's worth. And so imagine buying ecdysteroids, Turk Builder Max, Turk Platinum from our competitors. It would be like getting a shitty-ass haircut. You go in there and you want to dye your hair blonde, and you come back and it's yellow, orange, and green. It's not good. And so the same can apply to your supplements. Just because it says this many dollars for this ingredient doesn't mean you're getting what you're paying for. This is Marwan, who went to Uzbekistan, has been putting all these ingredients together, and he's going to explain it because I'm going to be honest, it's above my head. I'm like getting tired. I can't explain this.
Yeah, so we have 2 options. We have the option to use a very cheap, rich ecdysteroid containing extract from China, which is like, on paper, it makes a lot of sense. It has a shit ton of ecdysteroids, and the understanding is that ecdysteroids are what make this product effective. And the second option is to go a more of a naturalistic route and use plants which have minimal processing, grown in the wilderness, so they probably develop a lot of defense chemicals which can be beneficial. And we decided to test the 2. We tested the Chinese stuff at extremely high dosages, probably even getting 1 gram of ecdysterone per day, and we tried very small amounts. I'm talking like milligram amounts of the traditional wild Russian and Uzbek powders. Our bioassay means just like testing it on yourself, results showed that the wild stuff was more effective. People liked it better. They had better anecdotal reports with the small amount of the wild stuff compared to the very concentrated synthetic preparations in China.
So I feel like I could say a little bit of the good stuff is better than a lot of the bad stuff.
Yes.
That's how I explain. That's how I feel it. That's what I notice.
Okay. Number 2, when we actually run the labs on the Chinese stuff and the natural herb, we find the Chinese stuff has probably like 20 different peaks for all these unidentified ecdysteroids. They're oxidized derivatives, which means that you have an ecdysteroid, you put it through a chemical reaction, and then it has like oxygen attached to it and other esters that like are not found in nature. And this could be problematic because number 1, we don't know what these do in the body. And number 2, there's evidence that shows that they actually antagonize the effect of ecdysteroids. So if you have an ecdysteroid that's supposed to hit a particular receptor, if you play around with the conformation and composition of this compound, it can actually antagonize it, block the receptor, and prevent other ecdysteroids and other compounds from doing their magic. That being said, the Chinese extracts that were found, they are largely ineffective when used in the studies that show no response.
And so it's unfortunate because we could have got it so much cheaper. Remember, I was offered $5.85, and it's like, okay, that's a great deal. I can make so much money. It's awesome. But then you test it, and it comes back with all these weird irregularities, and you're like, this isn't good. And so we had to opt for the more expensive product because it's better. Other people, they don't care. I care. And so I could have opted to sell you much cheaper products. It would have been literally half price, but it wouldn't have packed the same punch. And so if you want the best of the best, you got to get Turk Builder Max or Turk Platinum.
Yeah. And the Turk Platinum has a lot of rare ingredients. And I know that isn't really a selling point because who cares if it's rare?
I care if it's rare.
Well,
gold is rare. Yes. Diamonds are rare. That's why it's so expensive. People want all the stuff. It's rare. It's hard to get. And that's why it costs so much money. If you could grow it in Canada, I would grow it in my backyard. It'd be half price. But you can't.
The decision was not based on the aesthetic of how rare it is. It was actually based on the science of
What works.
What works, number one, and what other compounds are present in the extracts. For example, Rhodiola heterodonta. Why do we choose heterodonta? Why didn't we just use rosea? Well, because Rhodiola heterodonta has a very unique compound called heterodonticide, which shows extreme amounts of antioxidant and anti-hyperglycemic activity in vivo compared to rosea. So to us, it shows a better effect in the animal trials, and it has very good safety. It's the better option, and also has very high salidroside content.
Salidroside? The
Yeah.
stuff that gets you blue lobstered?
Salidroside is present in all Rhodiola species.
Wait a minute. Hold on. The salidroside that's in the friggin' blue lobster pre-workout.
Yeah, salidroside is present in all Rhodiola. This has salidroside too, but the difference in blue lobster is that we got 15 milligrams of salidroside
Per scoop.
where if you wanted to achieve this level of salidroside using traditional Rhodiola, you would need probably upwards of 2 grams. Of
Okay,
Rhodiola.
well, that's a ton. Guys, if you want to get blue lobstered, code Greg 15% off.
And the other thing is historical use. This is so important. If a Chinese company sees Andrew Huberman talk about Ajuga turkistanica, and then they go find a copycat plant that humans have never taken, there is a huge risk of that because, number one, if humans have never taken it, there's no documented toxicity records, and there's actually a problem with this. It's called Chinese nephropathy. It's a racist term, I think, in the medical literature, but this term comes from that phenomenon of Chinese people taking random herbs and selling it, where some of these random herbs that humans have never consumed contain a compound known as erythrocholic acid that causes nephropathy.
What did he say? Erythrocopic what?
Erythrocholic acid.
I can't even pronounce my last name.
Anyways, the reason it's very important to buy ectosteroid sources that humans have consumed throughout time is because there is a good safety profile. There is an established efficacy profile. You just don't know what you're getting if it's cyanotis, because cyanotis comes in hundreds of different concentrations, and oftentimes they'll claim it only has 2% ectosteroids. When you test it, it's actually like 50%. You're like, what the hell? Is it only 2%? It's because there's no standardization of processing, and I know you don't want to hear about all of these.
It's so sad that nobody understands what you're saying. It would be great if everyone could just understand this. I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I got that. Nah, I didn't get that one. And so the problem is, Marwan can't just explain everything in detail so that you just understood it. If he could, you'd all just buy it and you'd believe it. This is where I come in. I try to make it simple so that you can understand it.
Let's summarize then. Rhaponticum, sarpuka, very long history of use.
From Russia.
From Russia and Central
The space
Asia.
age. Did research on it. It was effective. Studies show it's effective.
Number 2, cyanotis, Ajuga ciliata. Not that much history of use. Only popular because Andrew Huberman said it on a podcast, and these suppliers found the demand in the United States. Number 3, there are approximately 50 studies in Russian journals on humans using these compounds, showing pretty much similar results in terms of athletic performance, body composition changes. It's unfortunate that they aren't published in Western journals. And it's also unfortunate that this research has stopped because it was highly dependent on funding from the Soviets, where when the Soviet Empire collapsed, there was no longer an interest to develop these unique herbs. All the studies we have now are from the 1970s, the 1980s.
We got a bunch of studies that says it works, but it's in Russian. How many of you out there watching this speak Russian? Probably not many, maybe 1 in a million, whatever. And so you don't know, and it's been used in other countries, not as much in ours. And so we're saying, hey, buy this, use it. It's amazing. I've tried it. And you're like, well, I don't really believe you. And of course, it's hard to believe. Like, it's different. You're not used to it. It's not like everyone is selling it. And so you're like, well, how do I know if you're being honest? Well, here's the thing. If we're not, there's a money back guarantee and a $20 gift card. You can try it risk-free. If it doesn't exceed or meet your expectations, you get your money back. That's as simple as that. Whatever you're expecting, if it's less than that, if it didn't work for you, then move on. Get something different. I had a meeting with my accountants and they said, Greg, we've never seen anyone with a return buy rate like this. It was ridiculous. And I'm like, yeah, they buy it and they like it so much they keep rebuying it. I said, this is unbelievable. They're like, Greg, what you need to do is acquire new customers because the current customers, they keep coming back. We've never seen anything like it. I'm like, okay. Mission accomplished. They like it. Next, more people need to try it. And so that's what I'm waiting for. We need more people to take the risk, to buy it. but it's risk-free. It's a money-back guarantee. And so if you don't believe me, oh, it's snake or whatever, you buy it, you get your money back. It's not complicated. I mean, where's the risk? Other people, oh, buy it, and if it doesn't work, well, too bad, you're screwed. Well, that's a scam. This is not a scam.
And anyone questioning the return policy, it's just there were some people saying, oh, you can't return it if you've used any of it. That's not true. You can't return it if the capsules are empty, just because when you go to a restaurant and you eat all the food off the plate and then you ask for a refund,
if you are using the product and you use the entire bottle and then say, I want my money back, how do I know you didn't just say, oh, I'm just going to use the entire bottle and ask for my money back? Oh, it worked great, money back. It's so great. And really, I got the scam. Yeah, I'm going to scam Coach Greg. This is great. And so we need to know that you at least left a couple pills left.
Even one.
Mail it back to us. Leave a couple pills in there so that we know we're not going to resell it. We need to know, hey, you didn't just eat the whole thing. Because it's like saying, if you're at a restaurant and you order the rare steak and it was well done and you eat the entire thing and say, hey, I want a free one because I asked for rare. Halfway through, you should have known. 3/4 of the way through, you're like, oh, yeah, it seems to be... And so if you're not noticing the results, you don't just you ask for your money back right away. That's what I want. That's so that there isn't 100,000 people that say, I want my money back all at the same time because somebody makes a video and has an order 69 says, let's get Coach Greg. We don't like him because he said Hussein's natural. Let's every one of us stand together and all ask for money back at the same time. I have to prevent that. And so you have to send part of it back. The couple pills. That's it. Yeah. It's fair. And you get a $20 gift card because, hey, oh my God, it's a scam. We had to pay for shipping. Yeah, you have to pay the $20 for shipping. You get a $20 gift card. Yeah. There is it.
And out of compassion, sometimes people genuinely don't know that they had to save at least one capsule. We've
How many people have asked in total? I think it was like 30 the last that I had asked.
I don't know.
We haven't sold 100,000 bottles yet. I mean, that would be great. So we haven't sold $8 million worth of this stuff yet. It's getting there. But the tens of thousands that have bought it, there's like 30. I mean, it's less than 0.1%. It's like rare that somebody says they want their money back. And so if you want to get the stuff, code Greg 15% off. If you're interested in coaching by me and my team, remember, this guy is actually going to be looking at the blood work to ensure. Is this the kind of guy that you would want to look at the blood work to make sure that it's amazing? And so if you're interested, of course, apply by clicking the link, code Greg for 15% off. All the various ingredients, GLP Max, reduce your hunger by 28%. G-Test Max, G-Test Platinum, getting Blue Lobster. There's so many new ingredients. I can't list them all. Get to the website, ending it here. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the album, like the video if you liked it, watch those 2 bloops. And of course, for the cookbooks, training books, and the 1 in a million shirt or the Harder Than Last Time clothing line, all that stuff, get to the website. And until next time, I am out.